What's going on, guys? It's Trifecta J here, and today we have a episode where we're going to finally go over the recruiting for Season 2 of the Fairfield Dynasty. So right now we are 0-4 on the season. We're on the hot seat, at least Darius Douglas is, only 31% job security. That's something to definitely keep an eye on. It's been a tough non-conference slate, and 3 of those games I thought we had no chance of winning. We nearly beat Notre Dame with a drive at the end to either tie or win, and we lost to UConn. Very disappointing. We were at home to open the season and just did not play well, could not stop the rushing attack, which has been the story of the series so far. Now we're going to go over a little bit of a recap of the season so far, just throughout the whole country, and then more specifically for Fairfield. You can see the Heisman race and the top 25 before that. In the MAC East, Army is still undefeated, 3-0. 1-0 in conference, and then Ball State and Miami of Ohio are the leading teams in the West. Will play Miami of Ohio and Western Michigan out of the East. We move on to some of the statistics now for the season. We've seen 4 quarterbacks play. Travis Newby got the start against Notre Dame. He did not play very well. He threw 3 interceptions, was very inaccurate, and really saw what his weaknesses are. Terrence Lake came in and nearly led us to the win, so he will be our starting quarterback entering MAC play. Our defense has once again struggled to stop the run. The offense, they've been actually able to force a few turnovers, which is great to see. We haven't been able to throw the ball a whole ton. Newby's been the best at that. We are the leading team in the MAC, but that's because we've played 4 games compared to everyone else playing 3. Army by far and away is the best rushing attack, and then we are in the bottom 3 of points per game. On the defensive side of the ball, Army is best in that category, mainly due to their option attack. You can see by far the worst rushing attack in the MAC, and we've given up by far the most points. Even playing 4 games, that's still a huge margin. And now we look at some statistics around the MAC. You can see the best 2 quarterbacks from Ball State and Toledo. 9 interceptions for the quarterback at Bowling Green. By far the best running back is Kel Walker from Army, and then a nice guy from Western Michigan who we'll definitely see later this year. You can see McKinley Lewis and a couple of really good receivers from Toledo. We won't see them this year, but maybe in the future we'll see that offense, which is very good. A look throughout the defense side of the ball, Sean Hammonds Jr. is the lead attacker for loss and the leader in sacks, and then a few guys who have 2 interceptions in the MAC. Now we move on to the recruiting portion. We can see the school and our school rankings, academic prestige, and campus lifestyle are the biggest strengths. We have 18 seniors graduating this year, 10 on offense, and then 8 on defense, but 23 seniors next year. That's going to be a huge class, so I'm really trying to sign a full 18 players this year because it's going to be hard to sign 23 next year. And we'll really get a good look at this team. You can see the locations, once again, mainly a focus in the Northeast due to our recruiting restrictions. A few guys who had us as our top interest, and then a couple other guys just from other states as well. We move on to the actual prospect portion. First, we have a quarterback, Hunter Sawyer. This is all ranked by position. He's a 3-star from Hartford, Connecticut. He's a decent enough runner, an accurate passer, but not the biggest arm. But I feel like it's just a very good, solid quarterback and can develop to be a very good starter. Then at fullback, who will probably move to running back, I couldn't find any really good running back recruits that were available to us. So we have to go with someone who can fit that role, and that's Adam Estes. He is pretty fast. Not for a fullback he's fast, but for a running back he's pretty slow and great acceleration. Then we have Xavier Harmon, also from Hartford, Connecticut. You'll see that's a theme, as we have 4 different players from Hartford High all on our recruiting board and all have interested in us. Xavier Harmon is the best of the 4. He's a great athlete, great acceleration, great speed, great run after the catch ability. He has some spectacular catch ability and is an excellent return man. Hunter Sawyer threw for 4,000 yards in this high school season, with Xavier Harmon, Skylar Bolt, and Damian King all having 1,000 yards receiving. Skylar Bolt is the big play guy of this group, only 5'7", but has elite speed. Also pretty good spectacular catch, a little bit of run after the catch ability, but all these receivers really don't have the strongest hands. There are more really good athletes who will come in, and we'll see if they can develop in that area. Another talented guy from Hartford is Damian King, 5'10", 205. So not the tallest guy, but is very well built. He's not very fast, but once again, great acceleration, pretty good after the catch ability. He's not gonna wow you in spectacular catch ability, but is a very good route runner. Then we have Nate McPherson, only 6'2", 76, so a little undersized, from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was a new state added to our pipeline, so I wanted to keep that as a pipeline state and really focus there this year. He's a pretty good athlete. We're in a battle with Buffalo, and just as a guy to get in, we need offensive line depth with so many offensive linemen graduating the next 2 years. Now a guy I really like, 6'2", 291, also from Pennsylvania, is Justin Miller, a 2-star prospect. He is an incredible athlete. He's strong and has decent enough blocking ability and can really develop and be a star for us along our offensive line. Now I move to the defense side of the ball. We have a strong side defensive end in my mind, 6'7", 270, so a big guy from New Jersey. That is James Lee. He's a decent enough athlete, good finesse move, has to develop in all the other aspects of his game, but is a solid enough athlete and has that finesse move to begin with. So we'll move on now to Sam Sullivan and Ricky Joseph. They're both listed at linebacker, but in my mind they'll move to the weak side defensive end, as we couldn't really find any good pass rushers to fill that role and the prospects available to us. That's one of the things to really know, is not every year you're going to find guys that really fit a need that you have. You're going to have to find someone who maybe is in a different position who can fit that role. Sam Sullivan's a good athlete, not the strongest guy, not the best pass rushing move, but decent enough block shed. Then 6'3", 227, a 1-star prospect from New Jersey, we have Ricky Joseph. Like I said, he'll be moving to a right end position. We have a pretty big lead on him. He's a good fit for what he wants. He's a great athlete for the defensive end role. He's pretty strong. He once again has decent enough block shed, but have to develop as a pass rusher. Also along the defensive line, we have junior college transfer Connor Harley from Tennessee. Not nearly as many junior college guys on the board this year. I really wanted to get some freshmen that we can get in to develop. Connor Harley will enter as a sophomore and provides depth at the defensive tackle position. Another one of my favorite players is Xavion Dixon from Vermont. He's a 2-star prospect, 6'2", 222. We have a big time lead on him. He really fits with what we're able to offer, especially playing time and staying close to home. He's an incredible athlete at the linebacker position. He has an amazing finesse move, can maybe develop as a cover guy. And the reason he's not being moved to right end is I don't think he's strong enough or big enough to play that role, but he will play that left outside linebacker on a defense that does rush the passer a lot. Another guy that I'm very high on, only 5'9", 189 out of Connecticut, Jalen Gray. He actually played against the Hartford team this year and held Xavier Harmon to his low on the season. He's a good athlete in terms of agility and acceleration. He can't really press, but really fits into that nickel role, able to tackle and move well on slot receivers. Will Silva from New York, he's 6'1", 189. He's from New York, and he'll either be a corner or maybe a free safety depending on where our needs lie. He's a good enough athlete, especially compared to the corners we have on the roster right now. He can press a little bit, great in zone compared to his other coverage ratings, and can tackle a little bit. And we're really starting to put a big emphasis on him. He's one of our newer players on the board. Another guy is Tony Harvey. He'll also enter as a sophomore from Pennsylvania. He's 6'2", 186, 1-star prospect. We can offer him playing time, and he to me is a strong safety. He can play in the box and be very good there. He's not the best guy in coverage, especially in terms of recognizing plays, but could be a very good player for us and really a good player in the box, as we have a decent enough lead on Temple. Then the final guy we're putting points into, CJ Sanders, is a senior and will be graduating. So Greg West, 5'9", 182. He's number 36 kicker overall. He went up by a lot and doesn't have the strongest leg, but is decent enough in terms of accuracy, and just we have to get a kicker for next year, and he was one of the only ones available to us. Now we look at the rest of our board, we can see some different prospects, and you can see those top 16. If we missed out on any of them, we would be in trouble. There's not a lot of depth on this recruiting board, but our recruiting is really based around the guys that nobody really wants and are overlooked by big conferences like the ACC, the Big Ten, and the American Athletic Conference. We're finding those guys that are hidden gems and can really fit a role, maybe have one singular skill that they're very good at. And we're not really sure about this team's offensive or defensive identity yet, but this year was really based on finding athletes, and we'll have to figure out what these players are good at, and that'll really direct where we have the focus of our offense and defense. But we will face the MAC champion from last year, Miami of Ohio, in our next game, and it will be very interesting. They're a very talented team, and it's definitely not going to be the easiest thing in the world to win this game. However, they will be without their starting running back Maurice Thomas, But the Red Hawks, they have a very veteran quarterback, good special teams players. They'll definitely miss their running back Maurice Thomas, though he hasn't really played much the last 2 years. He was supposed to take over the starting role this year and did get hurt in their first game. But then we have Davion Johnson. He's not very fast, but he's very quick, and he is an absolute load to bring down. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays against our absolutely abysmal rush defense. But I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, please like down below. It was great for y'all to finally see the recruiting board and the prospects that we're targeting. Comment below which of your players are your favorite so far that you've seen, and which you think can make an instant impact once they get in as freshmen or sophomores. But really, getting my own players is the most fun part and really allow me to put a stamp on my team, and we're starting to be able to do that. We've seen some of the junior college guys come in and do that. But I will see you for the Week 6 game against Miami, Ohio, 'cause I'm out.